All right, what's up, guys? Stephen Guadani, Five Tool Sports Science. We got Eddie here. Eddie came out for a long-term training camp, and he's also a remote client. He came all the way from Australia, so that's pretty cool. So what up, Eddie? We got him here doing some pitch mechanics, kind of a back angle here, but we'll get it going. Oh, it's also just wanted to point out, he got this jersey here in Baton Rouge, Saints jersey. Pretty cool. I'm a 49ers fan, and we just got to the Super Bowl, so not that I care for the Saints, but that is cool that he got that jersey and he's repping it out in Australia. All right, so let's get you going, Eddie. All right, getting you into leg lift here. The first thing I saw, I know you've gotten better at this, but we're still as soon as you reach your peak leg lift and you start to shift your weight, you're immediately just shifting that spine where you're getting stuck over the rubber. All right, where that shin's in that vertical angle, that spine angle starts to go, that lateral spine angle starts to go back too much over the rubber, where I'd want you to stay a little bit more stacked and then ride your pelvis down so that we can actually start gaining some momentum. This just is a really difficult position once you get that stuck in the back hip with your trunk, in that angle. It's going to be really hard to get through your hip rotation and actually start creating some separation here. Okay, so as you go forward, I do see that I like that you're trying to create more rotation. At first, we were just getting way too much linear push off and there wasn't a lot of hip rotation. It looks like you've been working on that, trying to get some more femur rotation to get that pelvis to actually start moving. But on top of that, I do see we're starting to pull that glove side too. So a big thing that you're going to need to keep working on is the trunk not laterally tilting so far back. As soon as you reach peak leg lift and going back into these positions, it's going to be really hard for you to get in and out of your pelvis. The other thing is, in keeping yourself stacked, like what we talked about, is actually getting that arm more into that horizontal abducted position so we can start leveraging some separation and stretch between the hips and the shoulders. It does look like you've gotten a little bit better at it. But then what happens is we start moving down the mound. As you start rotating your pelvis, you're pulling the glove side. So we're early trunk rotating and we're losing whatever separation we did create through that pelvis drive. So still stuff that we can clean up in the trunk, still stuff that you can clean up in the arm path, delaying that early trunk rotation as much as possible, okay? Then getting into front foot strike. This has been another big problem. All right, as we go forward, there's a couple of issues here, probably about 3, okay? So as you go into ball release, we're still just late to get any deceleration or extension off of that front leg, okay? So Eddie's a big dude. He's 6'1", 225 pounds. All right, I've got my notes here. Some of the big issues. High hip kinetics. So again, that's just like a lot of leg strength. He's a big guy. Typically big guys, it's hard for them to get really good strength on those single legs. So just continue to emphasize single leg strength, Eddie. We just need to get those legs as strong as possible and then increase explosiveness there. So we know, jump heights were 17.9 for a single leg on his left leg, 16.2 on his right leg, but it was really low rate of force development. So decent jump heights, especially for his size at 6'1", 225, but the speed at which he needs to do it just needs to get faster. So we know in pitching, it's 0.1 seconds. When you hit front foot strike, that ball is out of your hand in about 0.1 seconds. That is an incredible amount of speed and power necessary. He's such a big dude that he needs to be able to tap into that faster, okay? So I think he's gonna have a benefit in getting his legs stronger so we can reduce some of those kinetics in his hips and in his knees, but also being able to use, velocity-based exercises, plyometrics, getting more explosive off of a single leg. That's gonna directly help him with his back leg and his front leg in the delivery. All right. Other thing, arm external rotation. We had about 108 degrees. It's kind of tough to see here. It's kind of ghosting on us, but he doesn't get a lot of shoulder external rotation. So a lot that we can have in continuing to strengthen that arm, improve range of motion in that arm, and then cleaning up the mechanics. That's going to directly transfer energy up the chain, which should give you a little bit more layback, but continuing to strengthen it in your arm care, work on mobility in your spine and in your shoulders. That's going to be huge so that we can get more layback in the delivery, okay? And then the third and final thing is when you go into ball release here, because we didn't really decelerate that front leg, there's not really a lot of forward trunk tilts. Okay, so that's a byproduct of what you did off of the back leg, the front leg, even the trunk leaning so far back. It's really hard. When you start way back here, your trunk isn't gonna really wanna get forward. So big key things, keep working on the arm path, keep working on the trunk, keep working on not getting so linear off of the back leg, creating more rotation so that we actually get that hip sequencing energy first, keeping the shoulders closed as much as possible so we delay that early trunk rotation, getting more front leg extension, getting more forward trunk tilt, and then getting more external rotation layback. All right, dude, hope it helps.